Hello and welcome. My name is Naseem. In last video, we trained a document processor type of AI builder model. Once you created it, it will take some time to train itself. And once it is trained, you just click on this model. And the very next step which we need to do is to publish it so that we can use this model in our Power Automate flows. So click publish. It will take some time to publish it. Once it is published, we can use this model in our Power Automate flows. In order to use this flow, we need to create a new Power Automate flow. So go back to the Power Automate and create a new flow, right? Now, for the demo purpose, let's try to use this model in our Microsoft Flow by using a use case. So the use case is that we have a number of different vendors, and these vendors are actually sending their invoices to a specific email box. This email box is nothing but the bot's email box. So every time there is a new email along with some specific text into the subject line of the email, as well as some PDF invoice attached to it, it will just trigger it. It will download this specific invoice and try to use that invoice in order to extract the data from it by using this model. So let's build it. Click here, go to Power Automate, and we need to create a new flow in order to create this flow, right? So my flows, new flow, automated cloud flow. Just skip it, rename it. Let's rename it invoice processor. And when we want to trigger this bot, every time there is a new email in our email box, so select Office 365 Microsoft, and when a new email arrives, this would be a trigger, right? Now we need to create some advanced field of it. So subject filter should contain invoice, and it would trigger every time there is a attachment attached to it, at least one, and only with attached, right? So select it yes as well. There should be any importance, there is no problem. We are not creating to and from and cc whatever these different parameters, we are not talking about it. So let's add new section. Every time there is a new email, it will look into the attachment. If that attachment is of PDF, it will just feed this PDF to the model and try to use that model to extract the data from it, right? So once we need to we need to choose an operation, select AI builder and select here just form. Select extract information from documents, right? Select it. We need to select which AI model we need to use. Select document processor. So if you go back, you will see the document processor. This is the specific name. You can change the name, there is no problem, but I'm not changing it, so I'm using it. What would be the form type? So this would be the PDF documents. We can use on other type of documents as well, like JPEG file or PNG file, right? So let's select PDF, and we need to select, because under this email we will get as a output the attachment, so we need to feed this attachment to the bot. So this is the variable where we are getting this attachment data, so just use it, right? Once you will use it, there would be a chances that this attachment, this email may contain more than one attachment, and that is why it is just using apply to each block in here. Once it successfully fetch out this detail of that invoice, we need to send this email back to the sender of this email along with the invoice and whatever the data it fetched from that invoice, right? So what we have to do, we have to send an email. So select email, reply to an email. So if I select it, reply to an email should be there. So search for reply to email. This is the right action item we need to use. To which message we need to apply? The recent one which we have received. And how it will be finding it? By the message ID. So select ID. This is the ID. What should be the body? So this model is actually replicating 5 different entities which it is actually fetching from the submitted invoice. So we need to just inform this user that these are the data which has been fetched from your attachment, and this is how you can use it, right? So we need to inform him. So hi, just write down any message. What is the invoice number? This is the invoice number. We need to just use the invoice number from here. So invoice number, where is the invoice number? So invoice number value, this is the variable which is containing this value. Second one is the invoice date. Just use the invoice date in here, and it should be value again. Third one is the vendor name. You can provide the vendor name here. Vendor name, its value, this one. And fourth is the vendor GSTN number. Go, and GSTN number value, this is the variable name. Amount, what is the amount? So we need to select the amount variable, which is actually getting the amount from this model. So select amount, total amount, the value. This is what regards. And as a as a acknowledgement, you can attach the same invoice that it is attaching to this email. So you can use the same attachment name. There should be one attachment name. And what is the attachment content? Attachment content. So this is how you have just generated this email. Save it and test it. Now, in order to test it, in order to trigger it, we need to send one email to this email ID, right? Let me copy this email ID, and we will use one of the email to do this job. So this is one of the fake user in the same Power Platform environment we have. It is ArrayLevy. So just create new email, and once we are creating, send this to this, email body. We have said that the subject of this email should have invoice string into it, and then attach one attachment to it. Now, for the attachment, browse this computer, and we need to download invoice data vendor one. So let's use this one of the test invoice on the vendor one. So these all of the invoice under train invoices folder are the one which we have used in order to train the model, and test invoices are the one which we will use in order to test whether this model is performing well or not. So select one of the invoice, attach it, and send it. Once it is sent, the bot in the backend should trigger automatically and do its job. So let's see whether it is triggering or not. We have one invoice, we have got it. Yes, this bot is running in the backend. Let me check whether bot is sending any email or not. Yep. So you can see we just receive an email which is stating that hi, following are the information fetched from your submitted invoice. Invoice number is this much, invoice date is this much. So let's open it, right? And see whether this information is correct or not. Download it, open it side by side. So if we talk about the invoice number, you will see this is the invoice number. So that is correct. You can see here invoice date 1st November 2019. That is also correct. Name of the vendor A to Z facilitators, correct. Then the invoice GSTN number, that is also correct. You can match it here. And the total amount 121,630, that is also correct. So these are the function, and this is how we can use AI models in our business process to use them and to automate our business processes, right? If you want, you can just use and send this email from this user to the bot, as many emails invoices you have, and this bot will be back to you according to the use case, according to the value. So I hope you have now understood how you can use these AI models. You can train them on your data set, and how you can use them into your Microsoft Power Platform Power Automate bots. Thank you for watching this video. See you in the next one.